Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 8th grade concept of direct variation. This is standard 8.3e in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 23 of the 2024 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. All right, so all we have here is just a simple statement that says y is directly proportional to the value of x. Okay, so that's going to be a big key. So before we get into the actual numbers they give us, let's take a look at our reference materials. And what we're going to notice here, right, is that we've got this direct variation. Look at these linear equations at the very top, and I'll put it right at the top of that little screen right there. Direct variation. Y equals kx. That's what we're talking about here. So we're going to need this. Y equals kx. When we're talking directly proportional, that means that we simply have our input, right? Our x. We're doing something to it, so we're multiplying it by k, and then we immediately get our y. This is different than when we have something in slope-intercept form. It's a two-step process. In slope-intercept form, you have the input, you multiply it by m, which is serving in the same role as that k, right? It's just a coefficient that you're multiplying by. But then in slope-intercept form, you have to add or subtract whatever that b value is, right? So that's the difference. In direct variation, you're just multiplying the x by k, and you get your y. Okay, so it says here when x equals 3/4. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to say x is 3/4, y equals 56 and 1/4. All right, so that's very interesting here. What is the value of y when x is 1/2? Well, I need to know what this k is. So I've got a few options here, right? So really, I need to think of it as 3/4 k. So what happens when we are multiplying a number by a variable we want to isolate? Well, if you multiply a number by a variable, you need to divide that number by that same variable, right? So, or divide that variable by that same number. So we're going to go ahead and divide by 3/4, right? Because 3/4 divided by 3/4, it's going to cancel out. So we need to divide both sides by 3/4. Now it's getting very messy over there. So we'll use our calculator, but let me show you can do this without a calculator, right? First, when you have a division and you have a fraction in your denominator, it's the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So really, this is 4/3 times 56 and 1/4. So dividing by 3/4 is the same as multiplying by 4/3, right? Division is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So we can do that. And take a look at this 56 and 1/4. I'm going to make that, what is 56 times 4? I'm going to make that an improper fraction. It's 224. So I've got 224 at that one, so I'm going to really make this 4/3 times 225/4. Well, if I multiply that, take a look, your 4 over 4 is going to cancel. So really, it's just 225 over 3. So if you want, you can divide that, right? 3 into 225, so that's going to be 7, and that's going to be 5. So k equals 75. Now, let's verify here. Let's get our calculator, right? And let's see, what did we do? Well, we did 56 and 1/4 is 0.25, right? Divided by 3/4, which is 0.75, right? And we get our 75. So now if k is 75, we can say y equals k, which is 75, times x is 1/2. Well, what's 1/2 of 75? Well, that's going to be 37.5 or 37 and a half. My answer is B.